Good morning to all of you. This is Qayyumuddin to speak with you on the second part of tense, and this is obviously the past tense. Today we'll discuss the details about the past tense. Past tense includes four categories: past indefinite, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous tense. Now, let me discuss one by one. At first, I'll discuss the past indefinite tense. The concept of past indefinite tense is that something that done earlier, something that happened earlier. Past indefinite tense হচ্ছে কোনো কিছু অতীতে হয়ে গেছে, ঘটে গেছে এরকম. Show you the structure of past indefinite tense. This is the structure of past indefinite tense: subject plus verb, past form of the verb, and others. As for example, John traveled daily last week. Here John is subject, then this is verb, traveled is verb, this is the past form of the verb travel. Then daily and last week. The past form of the verb indicates that this is the past tense. In simple sense, if we see that past form of the verb is used in a sentence, then easily we can say that this sentence is in past tense. And obviously here the adverb last week is used. So in case of past indefinite tense, we frequently use last week, yesterday, last day, last year, last month, etc., etc. We are now proceeding to the second part of this past tense, and that second part is obviously the past continuous tense. The sense of past continuous tense is that something or any event that was going on earlier, that was continuing on, that was moving on and going on earlier, means in the past times. First continuous tense হচ্ছে এমন একটা টেন্স বা এমন একটা কার্য সম্পাদন করার এমন একটা প্রসেস যেটা অতীতে চলছিল, ঘটছিল, হচ্ছিল এরকম, মানে অতীতে পাস্টে এটা কন্টিনিউয়াস ছিল, প্রোগ্রেসিভ ছিল. This is very easy concept. I'll show the structure of past continuous tense. This is the structure of past continuous tense: subject plus was or were plus main verb plus ing. As for example, they were playing a match. In this sentence, their playing of the match was going on earlier. তাদের খেলাটা, ওই ম্যাচে তাদের খেলাটা আগে চলছিল বা আগে হচ্ছিল. তো অতীতে চলছিল বা অতীতে হচ্ছিল এরকম সেন্স হলে পাস্ট কন্টিনিউয়াস টেন্স হয়. Another example, I was traveling Shillong. In this sentence, my traveling of Shillong was going on earlier. That's why it is in past, it is the past continuous tense. Here where verb was used, here was verb was used. Both of these are the past form of are and is. This is the past form of was, is the past form of is, and where is the past form of are. So in past continuous tense, we can use, we use the past form of the verb is, am, and are. This is the past continuous tense. Now we have past perfect tense. Past perfect tense denotes an idea that it includes two actions or two work frames which occur simultaneously, one by one. And among these two events or two actions, which happened earlier is treated as past perfect tense, and which occurred later is treated as past indefinite tense. Now we'll show the structure of past perfect tense. This is the structure of past perfect tense: subject plus had plus V3 plus others. In past perfect tense or in any perfect tenses, we use the have verb. Here in case of past perfect tense, we use the past form of the have verb, that is obviously had. And here in past perfect tense, at first subject will be there and then had, and then V3 past participle form of the verb and others. I am giving you the examples. This is the example: the train had left the platform before we arrived at the station. Earlier I said that past perfect tense includes two event or two activities. One will be occurred earlier, then another will be occurred later. That here in this sentence, the train had left. The train had left the platform before we arrived at the station. Two sentences are there, and also two activities are there. At first, activity number one, then activity number two. Activity number one takes place at first. and then activity number 2 takes place. In the very activity number 1, the train had left the platform. Before we arrived at the station, two activities are there. At first, the train had left, and then we arrived at the station. So earlier event is in past perfect tense, and the later event is in past indefinite tense. So we see that the structure, we can match with the structure. Here subject the train, and then head verb is used, and then left is used. Left is the third form of the verb leave. Leave is in present form, and past form is left, and past participle form is also left. So in case here we used the past participle form after the verb left, and then the platform is adverb, and another sentence, we arrived at the station. This second part is in terms of tense, we can say it is past indefinite tense because subject is there, and then the past form of the verb arrive is there. The past form of the verb arrive is arrived at the station. So this is all about past perfect tense. Now we'll proceed to past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect continuous tense is a tense that indicates an action or activity and amalgamation of two actions or activities. Two actions means the first action that was going on or that was coming forward from a particular point of time or period of time, and it comes and meets at another activity, and whenever the second work is takes place and the first activity or work is coming from a period of time or point of time. তো past continuous tense হচ্ছে এমন একটা past perfect continuous tense হচ্ছে এমন একটা টেন্স যেটা অতীতের একটা সময় থেকে চলে আসছিল, তারপরে একটা ঘটনা ঘটলো, এই ঘটনার সাথে মিলে গেল। তো অতীত থেকে চলে আসা একটা কাজ সেকেন্ড একটা অ্যাক্টিভিটির সাথে মিলে গেলে এটাকে আমরা বলবো পাস্ট পারফেক্ট কন্টিনিউয়াস টেন্স। আমি এক্সাম্পল দিয়ে এটা ক্লিয়ার করছি। লেট মি ক্লিয়ারিফাই দিস পাস্ট পারফেক্ট কন্টিনিউয়াস টেন্স উইথ এ লুসিড এক্সাম্পল। This is the example of past perfect. This is the structure of past perfect continuous tense. Subject had been, main verb ing plus others. In this case, we see that last year when we visited New York, Janto had already been living there for 10 years. Here, Janto's living or staying at New York was started from a long time. It was continuing on from a long period of time, and our visit of New York took place last year. So here two actions or two events meets or amalgamated to each other. Last year when we visited New York, this is in past indefinite tense. Last year when we visited New York, this is in past indefinite tense. And the second part, Janto had already been living there for 10 years. ওই পয়েন্ট অফ টাইম থেকে লাস্ট ইয়ার আমাদের ভিজিটের পয়েন্ট অফ টাইম থেকে জয়ন্ত 10 বছর আগের থেকে নিউ ইয়র্ক থাকছে। জয়ন্ত এর 10 বছর আগে থেকে নিউ ইয়র্ক থাকাটা ওই আমাদের ওই ভিজিটের 10 বছর আগ থেকে নিউ ইয়র্কে থাকার যে কাজটা ওটা এই সেন্টেন্সে past perfect continuous tense express হয়েছে, because here the subject জয়ন্ত had already been living, already also an adverb is used here, there for 10 years. For 10 years Jayanto had been living there. This part is past perfect continuous tense, and the first part last year when we visited New York is in past indefinite tense. Earlier we said that it is the amalgamation of two actions or activities. So this is all about the past perfect continuous tense. Hope that this second part of my discussion is clear to you. Hopefully it will be very understandable to all of you, and that's all for today. Have a good day. Thank you very much.